You're listening to the Dad to Dad podcast, a podcast where we just talk as dads.
Hey Dad, what's up? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell notification to stay up to date with everything going on here with Dad to Dad. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Ben. We are so glad that you are joining us today. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I've got a question for you, Ryan. Have you ever struggled to get your kids to talk to you or share what's on their mind?
Absolutely. It can be tough sometimes, and I bet many of us listening have faced some of the same challenges. So today we're going to address the important topic of how to get your kids to open up to talk to us. And it's so, when we look at different things and we're talking to our kids, one of the hardest things is when we ask those questions and they want to give you the one-word answer. How was school today? Good. And you just wish that they would express just a little bit more. And we're going to get into that a little bit more of how we can do that, but it's always based on how we're going to respond to our kids as well. Instead of asking a question kind of like the easy question, they can say good or something, ask them, what was your favorite part at school today? And we'll talk about that a little bit more. With just learning about communication.
Yeah, and like you said, communication is crucial in any relationship, first of all. Not just with your children, your whole circle of everybody, your wife, your family, your friends, but especially between us and our children. Proverbs 18:13 tells us to answer before listening. That is folly and shame. Do you understand what that means? That means it's not good. And that reminds us that listening is a key part of understanding our children. So why is good communication so important, Ryan?
Well, good communication builds trust and makes kids feel valued. Ephesians 4:29 says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. See, children, when they feel heard, they feel more that they are cared for. They're more likely to come to you maybe with their problems. They also will come to you with their joys that they experience, which can lead to a healthier relationship overall.
Dude, you couldn't be more on point. And let's face it, getting kids to talk, it's challenging. It's some common barriers that keep them from opening up include fear of judgment. Feeling like we're not interested as their parents, or even just knowing how to express themselves. You know, when you were reading before about Ephesians and letting everybody know that, I kind of want to go back to that for 1 second, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And it says in there, and it's Ephesians 4:29. It says a little bit ways down, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. And so when we're talking about according to their needs, whose needs? Our children's needs. You know, and so we need to make sure that we're not setting up a barrier that is making them fearful to speak to us, or letting them know that, hey, we're not actually interested in what you have to say. Because let's be honest, some of us are on our phones a little too much, and our kids pick up on that. You know, so let's not share negative language on our part, so that they're more open.
That goes right into what we're talking about. We as parent might unintentionally contribute to those barriers. Like you just mentioned about maybe we're on our phone too much, or we're not giving our kids that 100% of the attention that they need at that time. Maybe we're too quick to maybe offer the solution instead of listening, or dismiss their feelings without even realizing it. Guys, I think I can do this all the time. As a man, okay, as a dad, as a man, we are there. We want to try and fix everything. It's something that my wife has told me before. I don't want you to fix anything. I don't want you to fix nothing. I just want you to listen. And as a guy, it's like, no, I want to try helping fix the problem. She's like, it's not that. I just want to listen. I just need someone to listen to me. Okay, that is very hard. But like we said, we are sometimes contributing to some of those barriers. And that's what we might not even realize it. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So what can we do as dads to create a safe space and an open environment for our kids to express themselves? So Ryan and I have a few tips. First, we're going to practice active listening. James 1:19 advises us everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This means that we're going to give them our full attention, making eye contact and showing that we are genuinely interested in what they're saying. Now, when it says making the eye contact, we're going to go ahead and get down on their level. I've always remembered this, and when I took a pre-education class a long time ago, before I was a ministry student, one of the things that they told us is that sometimes when you're standing over top of a child,
That's right.
it is imposing something on them that you may not be intending, but it makes them shell up because it's a power struggle at that point for them.
Yeah.
So get down to their level, listen to them, make the eye contact, and be genuinely interested in what they're saying.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing, and making sure we have that eye contact. And it's okay to tell your kids, hey guys, look at me, do those kind of things so that they understand, making sure, and we're wanting to give them our full attention. So along with active listening, another thing we have to do is we have to show empathy, trying to understand things from their perspective and acknowledge their feelings. Romans 12:15 encourages us to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Phrases like, I can see why you would feel that way can go a long way. This is something for me, this is me preaching to myself when we think about these kind of things, because I have a hard time saying I can see how you feel that way. I can see why you would feel that way. I have a hard time with some of those kind of things, especially sometimes, like we've talked before, even with my wife sometimes, and I want to try fixing everything, and she just wants to be heard. Our kids, they just want to be heard. And so by us saying, hey, I'm here, and showing empathy and identifying with how they're feeling, it goes a long way in all of these kind of things with getting your kids to communicate back to you.
And another important aspect, and this is me preaching to me, is to be patient and give them time to open up. Like you said, being fixers, a lot of times we're boom, 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 boom. We want the answer quick. We want the solution quick. We want to move on. But it's so important for us to be patient and give our children times to open up. Sometimes kids do need a little bit of space and time to gather their thoughts, just like you and I, before they're ready to say anything. 1 Corinthians 13:4 reminds us this. Love is patient and love is kind. And I would say and venture out to say a lot of people have heard this verse or know some version of it. But I'm going to do something, and I'm going to change a few words. I'm not adding to, I'm not taking away. I just want you to rethink something.
Yeah, and
Dad is patient. Dad is kind.
Absolutely. And that's the big thing, is they need to understand that we are patient and kind. And if we're not showing that, that's going to be hard for them to open up. But the biggest thing is it is critical to validate their feelings and thoughts. If you don't, even if you don't agree with everything that they're saying, let them know that their feelings are real and important. This encourages them to continue communicate openly. Colossians 3:21 warns, fathers, do not embitter your children or they will become discouraged. Yeah. Something happened the other day, and I yelled at my youngest, and I'll never forget the way his face looked, and it was rough. And I'm like, man, I missed it. I messed up. And of course, man, no joke. A little bit later, he hugged me and we laid on the couch and it's good. But I did have to apologize. I had to, once again, go down on his level, look at him in the eye, apologize for things. And sometimes, Dad, when we mess up, an apology can go a long way. Okay, it can go a long way, and that's the biggest thing, because we do not want to discourage our children.
Validating our child's feelings makes a huge difference. We're telling them that their emotions are respected and understood, which builds up their confidence. We're meeting their needs, and when we do things like when we overreact, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
When we overreact to things, we actually can destroy their confidence, and that's not what we're supposed to do with our children. As their fathers, we are stewarding them to walk into the purpose that God created them for.
Yeah.
And they need to be confident in that. So we need to respect them, do our best to understand them. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect every single time, but we need to be mindful of what we're doing to their confidence and how they're opening up more into the future.
That's right. So to summarize all of these kind of things, there's a couple points we want to take away. And here's the key things. Number one, we want to practice active listening. Number two, we want to show empathy. Number three, we need to be patient. And number four, we need to validate our children's feelings. And these steps will significantly enhance communication and strengthen your relationship with your child. But also, all these kind of things will also strengthen your relationship maybe with your spouse, with your wife, and that would be just communication just in general if we can follow some of those things as well.
Bro, we even with our friends.
That's right.
Bro, if we communicate healthy with each other back and forth, it improves our relationship too.
Absolutely.
So dads, I think one of the biggest things that we will take away, and all of it's good stuff, but effective communication has a profound positive impact on a relationship with our kids. Proverbs 22:6 tells us, start children off on the way they should go. Even when they are old, they will not turn from it. Remember who created these children, and remember what our role is as their father. We're shepherding them into something bigger. We don't even know yet. So let's give these tips a try. And I would love to hear about all the experiences that you've had with your children and how these work for you.
Absolutely. Drop a comment below. Share how maybe these strategies worked for you. Also, if you have other tips, make sure you're sharing those with us too, because we can all learn from each other. Until next time, keep striving to be the best dads you can, and I'll see you later too.
Yeah, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit all the buttons. That's what you
hit
say,
all the
right, Brian?
buttons.
Hit all the buttons. Hit all the ones at the bottom. Hit them all. If you've already hit them, don't hit them again.
That's right.
Hit them once. And then head over to Instagram, Ben_Atkins, LYL, and RK Workman 85. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.